big project so far for this year has been turning this strip along the sidewalk into a full flower bed. So it was a flower bed up until like about here, and then it was grass. It was just like really pointless grass, and it was always overrun by weeds. And so I dug out the grass. I installed some flowers and then covered it up with mulch. And I'm really, really happy with how everything is going. The mulch is not doing as much to keep down the weeds as I was hoping. You can see like I really need to do some weeding in this bed. But you know, that was probably inevitable, and I think if I can keep on top of it, then it'll slowly die down. But almost everything that I have tried to plant here, it seems like it's doing well. It's coming back. And so we already had the azaleas do their flowering for the year. Actually, these are encore azaleas, and so they'll bloom again in the fall, but they've done their spring blooming. And some things that I installed last year are it's kind of weird if you're sort of plant blind. You just see a bunch of green stuff growing here. A lot of this is going to flower. It's just we're not there yet. But we will have cone flowers. We'll have verbena. You'll see the hostas, which are these kind of low-growing, kind of pear-shaped leaf plants, which they're going to get pretty big, and so I tried not to crowd them too much. We've got mountain mint and chives, which will, form those like big purple balls. So I'm excited about that. Hopefully that really does happen. Actually, I do see these are the chives that will do that, and I do see like, I don't know, something that looks like the beginning of a flower right there, like a little bud. And those are supposed to be sterile, so chives normally spread really, really easily, but I got a variety that's sterile, and so hopefully they're just pretty and don't go insane. Also have, what else do I have here? I have lilies, and so here we already have some cone flowers that are starting to emerge. And then I just have some annual petunias. I have regular petunias, and then I have super petunias, and some lantana. So once I get this weeded, I think it'll look better. Maybe in a couple months, it'll look even better than that, because maybe we'll actually have some flowers here. But in the meantime, everything that I was hoping would be growing here is, and so that's really exciting. And then I did a lot of changes kind of in this area too. This weird situation where we had some really, really prolific, actually it was these. These are abelias, these kind of bushes there in the back, and they were here, and they were just they were really, really happy, really growing like crazy. And then behind them were lower growing hollies, and it just looked weird to have like the shorter thing in the back, and then up here it made the whole area look a bit crazy. And so what I did was I removed the hollies, I relocated them to the backyard, and I dug up the abelias and I put them here. I think it'll be nice. Once they get reestablished, they can go crazy there. That'll be totally fine. That'll be nice. They definitely make for a good view out our window. Definitely still in a little bit of a recovery period right now. Let's see if I can get back in there without stepping on anything. Like this one, this poor baby is like, obviously it's gonna do fine because it's put on plenty of growth, but it's the idea is it's gonna be like a full shrub. Like that's what it does naturally. That's what it was doing before, and so obviously we have a long way to go before we're back there. But sometimes it's like that when you transplant something. It just kind of has to take some time and like reestablish its roots before before it starts, you know, putting on a bunch of foliage. And so like these tall ones I left because for a while this was the only green that was on this plant, and I wanted to make sure that it had some foliage for photosynthesis. Probably eventually I'll reshape that, and you know, but it will be a slow process, and it'll just have to grow out for a bit. And so in place of the craziness that was here, and it was like that tall and wide, I've been trying to figure out some flowers to be here. Not super impressive right now. It was. We had, I put in some beautiful tulips and beautiful anemone flowers, which were really, really successful. And they bloomed in, I guess, you know, April. And so you can see, you can't see that they're pretty much gone now. And so the idea of, you know, kind of having different plants cycle in through the different seasons, I think I still have some work to do on this area right here, because this is a really important area. It's like, you know, right at the front of our house. So, you know, what's happening now is we have some, I think these are violas, and then most of the ground cover you see here is forget-me-nots. And so they will come in with really pretty blue flowers. I have snapdragons, which aren't blooming yet. So I was kind of hoping that we would get that transition. So far, like right now, we don't really have it. But you know, in a month, I think we'll have some flowers blooming again. But I think probably I still have some work to do in terms of, you know, just having some like low growing perennial flowers here that are going to be reliable and cycle well. This is another area where I did remove, I think one of the abelias back there was from here. And I have tried to redo this space just to have different types of flowers, and I'm kind of going for a certain color scheme here with whites and reds and deep purples. And much like some of the other areas that I talked about today, there are flowers, they are coming. You can see that the plants that are going to make them are doing really well. This is a hibiscus, which is probably going to be amazing in July. We have these are doing well. This is delphinium. This is a delphinium that I relocated here, and I have not had any other delphinium do well ever. I really love these flowers, but they don't seem to like anywhere that I've put them until now. So I'm happy about that one. We have phlox. This beautiful white phlox is, this is also going to be the same thing. It's just that this is more established than that one. So we'll have two of those. This knockout rose is also a relocation. I brought this over from a shadier area and really happy with how well it's doing. Last thing I'll talk about here in this bed, this is a really nice shot of the roses, I think. Really prolific. I have some pincushion flowers. You can see why it's called a pincushion. So I got 4 of these, and I think they have been a nice border plant for me. Now, last year's project was installing this kind of 3-part bed here, and I think I did a video before where there was like a before shot and then after we had put some of this stuff in. So you can see it's really doing well. It's not like in its sort of final form that like I have in mind yet, but it's really moving in that direction, and a lot of the things that I was hoping would establish themselves are definitely doing that. And so basically it's just a wildflower bed. It's it's a 3-part pollinator bed. And so we have coneflowers. These tall yellow ones are snapdragons, which I have mixed feelings about because I really do not like this color. I just I'm not a yellow kind of person, but they're all they're undeniable, they're just objectively beautiful, and so I can't just cut them down because I don't like them. I think it does add some beauty to this whole thing, and they're obviously really happy right now. I have some butterfly weed right here, already starting to bud, and last year we definitely saw monarch butterflies eating that down, and then well, first I saw monarch come and lay eggs on that plant, and then we saw the caterpillars emerge, and then later we saw monarch butterflies. So that's back, so that's great. And most of the tall things you see here are coneflowers, and we do have an early one right here. This one is it looks a little weird. I don't know what's going on with that one. It's just kind of looks like a firework or something. But yeah, so I think that's the native variety of coneflower. And these I'm hoping are not just weeds. I'm hoping that this is, I'm hoping that those are zinnias that are going to come out. I'm not 100% sure, but fingers crossed for that. This is prairie dropseed. So this is on purpose, that patch of grass. So I'm trying to make kind of like a wildflower meadow type of situation in these 3 connected circular areas. So the pink salvia is blooming really nicely. Here we've got a lot of the same type of stuff. We have, what is this? I forget what it's called. It's called little blue stem. That's right. Got a couple of little blue stem grasses there. More coneflowers, which we'll again see in a month or two. Trying to remember what these purple flowers. I think these are called purple bellflowers. This is called prairie smoke. It's a weird kind of has a wispy quality to those flowers. They are native to this area. This is Loropetalum, which I think eventually will be kind of a foundation plant for this particular area. It's probably going to get to be about 3 feet by 3 feet. Obviously still just a baby. A few different types of things going on here. A lot of the same stuff. We've got some dianthus, we've got coneflowers and asters. What's in bloom right now mostly is penstemon. So these are doing really well. And I put these here because they do a little bit better in shade than some of the other things. And this, of the 3 kind of circular beds, is the one that gets the least sun because of this Japanese maple over here. It does block some of the sun.